Jack was finishing his prep to enter Flawed when Rhonda said something, "We're about to change the world." I just gaped at her hazel eyes, but excitement fluttered in my stomach. I turned away, trying to hide my inevitable smile. "Jack, are you ready?" she asked through the intercom. He turned his frail body and wrinkled the grin of his dark cheeks. He threw up his thumb and glided the oculus from the top of his bald head onto his abysmal eyes. HRAD was already running. Jack pushed one of the myriads of buttons among the oculus and connected them and his nervous system to the alpha radiation. While we watched him enter the platform, our data relayed that the radiation was swarming his cells and neurons, and that the electrodes from the AER were keeping him and his vitals safe. The spectrum kept capped at its lowest aperture, the 16th nanostop, allowing the hardware to run without becoming swash. Jack's body entered a comatose state, but he was still alive and could have been awoken at any hesitation, without damage. The Oculus loaded him onto HRAD, and he fully pixelated onto the platform in a simulated era of the Gulf of Creation. Typhoons and earthquakes flared, combustions rang in the atmosphere, dangerous light leaks spawned spontaneously, while flames reflected in the sky while they ignited on the water. Me and Rhonda witnessed everything and were ecstatic. If that were a space launch, I have no doubt that the room would have roared. However, it was just me and Rhonda there, and yes, we were exhilarated, but we kept it smug because we had more at stake. We studied our colleagues' biometrics and vitals, and once again, everything was optimal. For a short while, we watched as he roamed through the simulation of the blackout era of the GOC. He eventually sped up the world's advancement, stopping during the era of TIE Trojan, when the Trojan mindset had peak influence. He did this because we wanted to examine the features of artificial intelligence and the ability of the alpha radiation transmission to the intelligences. In this era, Simon II appeared, our second creation of the intelligence Simon. He was compliant with all demands and questions, and could rectify any answer that pertained to the Gulf of Creation and TIE Trojan's ideologies. During the assays, Simon II performed exceptionally. The code never once exerted to overrun the plant and communicated well with alpha radiation and the new CPU receivers. Jack was able to enhance the coding with the help of Rhonda and the power of the alpha spectrum. The system of codes that Jack orchestrated functioned purely on the alpha spectrum. The artificial intelligence within this code, within the program, had knowledge of the entire system, history, and an asset of unique personalities that meshed with their topic. Intelligences could digitize onto the screen in the form of a pixel, purely created by themselves, and were masters at the game, created to guide and teach. Simon II, along with a multitude of other intelligences, were tested. We examined the intelligence redundantly, and all of them executed peerlessly. However, when Jack roamed the Trojan's mindset era and encountered Simon II, the intelligence stayed persistent in trying to create an example of the creation at sea model. That was the allegory depicted to justify the philosophy of TIE Trojan. Jack was able to override every attempt with his expertise and continued to venture through Hayaraid. While he journeyed, Simon II guided Jack like it performed in experiments. It also exhibited many wondrous features. One I congruously remember is his intuitiveness for steam engines. Simon II could replay the history of the Trojan mindset era, and it proficiently taught and theorized thermodynamics and the ingenuity from the power of steam, all with the power of alpha radiation and the schematics of Jack's code. Jack roamed the era with ease. He used algorithms to make the alpha radiation surreal. The algorithms allowed him to perform magnificent features, similar to a fantasy world. He summoned creatures, cultivated elements, and particles based off his most applicable science, geology. Everything he procured with functions and algorithms was augmented, and thanks to our radiology of the alpha spectrum, we were able to depict the energy from the atomic spectrum in the physical world. We also had a digital view of his adventure. It was only a depiction, but Jack Actual experienced it visually, sensibly, and physically. He was combining elements and creating chemical components we had never seen. He used the alpha spectrum to increase his oxygen levels. He used it to heal his body, and even to supply nutrients to himself. Everything we thought the program was capable of his adventure proved. The mission was a success.